everyone, I am doing a video and my guest at this time apparently is Scott from Video Game Sellers, who I've got
Hi.
on Skype.
I'm repairing a Game Boy right now, so I'm multitasking.
I haven't done just a chill, casual video for a while. It's just been Game Quest and Morning Wood, so I just wanted to sit down and go through some of my treasured possessions in my collection, which was sort of an idea from Scott, which I twisted and...
Can I butt in here real quick?
Mm-hmm.
The truth of this video actually is, he had no idea what to film, and I was like, well, I'm trying to give you some ideas, and he rejected my ideas. So now I'm just...
and then just came up with my own and I felt bad, so I called you. Alright, so I tried to make a nice mix of cart-based games and CD-based games because I did grow up. I am fairly young. I'm a lot younger than you and younger than a lot of the people that actually watch my stuff. So I grew up with CD-based games for the most part.
Do you have any gray hairs yet?
No, in my beard. When I grow my beard out, I get gray hairs in my beard.
I got so many gray hairs, you can have half of them. Half of the whole side of my head are all gray.
I think it makes me look distinguished.
Okay, keep telling yourself.
Alright, so I'll start with two cart-based games. I'll tell you like why as well, and a little bit of history on me, because you guys don't know much about me. But growing up, about my history, not that I like Hannah Montana. Growing up, I had a NES. My parents actually had a NES before I was born. And I had that right up until I bought my own 64. So a lot of my early memories of gaming, when I started gaming, it was on a NES. And two of my favorite games in my collection, I've got Mega Man 3, I've got Zelda, but two of my favorite games in my collection is actually North and South and Blades of Steel. And the reason for that is me and my family don't really get along much anymore. I don't talk to my brother, I don't talk to my parents.
Well, that's sad.
It is sad, but growing up, me and my brother were friends, obviously, and we played these two games all the time, North and South and Blades of Steel, and it's one of my best memories of my family, back when I had a family, and my best memories...
Okay, wait. This video is way more emotional than I committed to. I thought it was a casual...
It's getting funner after this. I'm just giving history as to why these are my favorite games.
Okay.
So yeah, and North and South actually still impresses me to this day as a strategy game, like Age of Empires, that kind of thing. The amount of thought that was put into this game, and I'm surprised it's on the NES. Have you ever played it?
Yeah, I actually got a copy at the good old flea market not too long ago, but that wasn't the first time I played it, but that's when I owned my copy of it.
It's very in-depth as far as a strategy game goes. There's a lot of curveballs in it, and there's even platforming parts.
I love the cover. Show the cover up close to the camera. I love how like cartoony and pissed off, like they're trying to make war seem friendly and fun.
Yeah, I think your cover's a little different to mine, but it is the same. It's the same premise. Your guys don't wear hats, I don't think. There's something a little different about your guys.
It does look a little different than that. Yeah, yours looks a little more serious than mine.
It's the same premise though. And Blades of Steel is just awesome. Chris actually just built an arcade cabinet. And he's got Blades of Steel on that, and we were playing that the other day. His first Blades of Steel experience. That game's amazing.
If I was into sports games, I would probably play that.
I'm not into sports games, but that game, it's just something about it. Do a couple of CD-based ones on the PlayStation 2. Devil May Cry has been one of my favorite series of games. Shut up, ranch. Eating your ranch sauce. I started playing this. I had a friend when I was 14, 15. I went to his house all the time, and he had this game on PlayStation, and I played that every time I went over. I actually finished his copy of this game about 3 times before I finally got my own. And this copy in particular is very special to me because Kane, who's been on the show quite a few times, we went out to the city once, and he actually purchased this for me, just because he felt like being nice. And it's actually sealed as well. It's factory sealed, and you don't get many factory sealed PS2 games.
When you have like a factory sealed copy, do you also have an open copy to play? Like,
absolutely. I've got an open copy of this because I know I need to play it. But speaking of playing it, I've got 2 360 games here, and it's weird to have 360 games already being treasured. But the reason for that is the Devil May Cry HD collection, which has 1, 2, and 3 on it, and they're my favorite series of games. And when this came out, I seriously had an orgasm. My girlfriend bought this for me the day it came out, and I finished it in a couple of days.
You mentioned orgasm and your girlfriend in the same sentence. Are you sure you weren't confusing a situation that was going on?
My videos are G-rated, okay? Nah, they're not.
G.
I just said orgasm. They can't be too G-rated.
Exactly. Well, let me ask you a question. With Devil May Cry, did you enjoy 2 really at all?
Nah.
That stuff.
Nah, like I do and I don't. I enjoy it because it's Devil May Cry, but if it wasn't in the series and it was just a game, I probably wouldn't like it, no. I mean, even playing it now, it's a struggle to finish it.
It was cool though that the series was able to continue on with that not being a good title.
Yeah. I'm really glad they did, because even the 4th game, which a lot of people bag on, that was really, really good. And then the 5th game, the DMC that just came out was amazing. Did you play the new one?
I love that.
Yeah.
That game was awesome.
That game was out of control good. So just the fact that for the rest of my life now on 360 I can play 3 of my favorite games in HD, it's really cool. I don't like...
Oh, it's HD, not HD.
No, it's H, just like it's ranch. And I picked this one up fairly recently. Another prime example of my favorite games going HD. I grew up on Monkey Island. I used to go to my uncle's house.
Oh, that explains a lot. That explains a lot. You grew up on Monkey Island. That's why you live. Lame joke, I'm sorry. Continue.
Whenever I went to my uncle's house, I did 2 things. I watched The Rock, because he was obsessed with The Rock, and I played Monkey Island. And that was when I first got into gaming hardcore, was Monkey Island games. Which is weird, because they're quite casual games, but it's when I realized I love these games. I need to buy these games, and I was quite young. So wanting to actually go and buy a game for me was different to my mum used to buy me games, and I just played whatever I got.
That is an interesting game to get really into gaming. That's not Monkey Island.
It was the 3rd one.
That's because it's not like I want to say it's an easy game to get into, but it's just a really weird experience. It's not a Mario or a platform, kind of game.
Well, no, it's a point and click, and it's hilarious. They're all hilarious. I laugh my ass off to this day. And when I was a kid, I still understood the humor. To the most part.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff that went over my head, but yeah, I mean, this collection has 1 and 2, and actually finding it on 360 has already become really hard. I found this one at Cashies for $12, and I bought it straight away because, yeah, you can't buy these in our game stores anymore. They're not making any more of them, and the people who bought them were people like me, collectors who wanted to play Monkey Island 1 and 2 in HD, so they aren't getting rid of them. So trying to get a hold of it now is getting really hard.
Fixed. Number 2, Game Boy Color's fixed.
Nice. Is that both of them? Is that how many?
Wait, what?
How many were you fixing?
I have 3, but I'm pretty sure this green one's completely toast. I can't get it to do anything. So 2 purples.
I have 3 original Game Boys, and they're all broken.
Aaron has a box of them now at the flea market.
I've got one that plays sound, and I can hear the game, but I can't get the screen.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll jump.
Well, yeah, we will. We'll jump back to cart-based for a bit. We'll get sad again for a second. Obviously growing up, I didn't have much of a childhood as far as family goes, and my dad was pretty much non-existent. But the one thing he ever actually bought me was Star Wars Podracer, and I hold that in pretty high value for that reason, because actually when he bought it for me, I wasn't big into Star Wars, and I'm like, wow, he finally buys me something, and that's what he buys me. But I loved it. I loved it. I remember he bought it for $9.99 because that's what it said on the back. I just remember that moment so clearly. Yeah, and yeah, no, this isn't the one that I had. I actually sold off everything I used to have. The only 2 things in my collection that are actually mine from back in the day I'm about to show you after this, because that's why they're treasured. Everything else I lost because I left home when I was 16, and when I left home I didn't take anything with me, so anything I had was gone, and I had to start again when I turned 19, 20, started collecting again.
Not for drug money though, for living money.
I didn't sell it. I didn't sell it. I left it at home. It was...
Oh.
It actually got sold. I spoke to my mum 2 years after, and she sold my 64 with Ocarina of Time, Smash Brothers, and GoldenEye for $5 at the garage sale.
she sold it. Someone like you in Australia got a good.
Got
deal.
my 64 though. It's not fair.
But,
When
we'll find it again someday.
So yeah, apart from the fact that Podracer is a great game, and for those of you who don't know, you can plug in 2 controllers and you can drive the pods with 2 controllers, one hand being each turbine. Did you know that?
What is this Star Wars you speak of? No.
Whatever.
I did not actually know that little fact though.
It's cool. It is cool. If you get it to work, it's hard to get it to work. Next, Super Smash Brothers. There was a video store, not a big chain, just a local video store near me that rented out 64 games. And I finished this game, I 100%ed this game. I finished the story so many times and got so good at the game, mind you, that I couldn't be beaten by 3 bots against me on level 10 or level 9, whatever it went to, whatever the higher level was. I played it that much. I actually used to go to a youth group that had this big projector, and they used to play this with competitions, and I couldn't be beaten. I was never kicked off of the screen, but I never actually owned the game. I rented it from that video store religiously.
If you ever make it to America for sure, you should play against Aaron because he's one of the best Smash Brothers players that I personally know of.
Well, he'll probably beat me at this nowadays because it's been a while. I actually only found this 3 weeks ago at the dump for $10. But I've been looking for it since I started collecting, because it goes for $90 here, $80 to $90 this one.
Ooh,
so
that's a solid deal then.
to finally have it again was cool. But if he wants to verse me in Brawl, I play that quite often.
I don't know. I think he's pretty good at all of them.
Yeah.
But when we had a tournament one time at the flea market, and I believe it was original Smash Brothers, and that he lost 1 out of like 30 matches. So.
Wow. Yeah, at the conventions here, I always try and enter them, and I don't get very far. Some of the guys are amazing. Like, the techniques that you see them use are out of control.
I suck. I do suck at fighting games for the most part, especially Smash Brothers, and I'm not very good at all.
I actually don't like fighters. The only fighter I like is a couple of Street Fighters and Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
I guess if I had to choose, it would be like Blaze Blue.
Yeah, that's cool.
Guilty Gear, just for the weirdness factor.
It is pretty weird. Blaze Blue has so many characters. I think it's Blaze Blue that I'm thinking of, has so many characters.
There's a lot of them. Well, there's not only that, but they've done like 5 or 6 different iterations of the game that where they just sort of, they just tweak a lot of things, it seems. But
oh, Injustice was really good. The new Batman fighter.
I did play a little bit of that at a friend's house, and I sucked at that one pretty hard as well.
Yeah, you gotta get used to it. The next one seriously goes without saying, Zelda Ocarina of Time. Like, I don't think I need to explain why this is awesome. It's one of the very few 64 games I actually owned because I rented a lot, but I owned this one as well as a couple others. And the day I got it, it's the first time I ever played a Zelda, and I don't know what to say. It just absorbed me. I played it for days and days and days and days. I finished it countless times. To this day, I finished it countless times.
What's that price sticker on the back of the thing?
Oh, that's just a serial number.
Why don't you take that off?
Well, I actually just noticed it. This is another one that I found. I maybe found it maybe 2 months ago. And
okay.
A lot of the times I don't bother taking the stickers off. I paid $15 for this, which isn't too bad.
I still need the gold cart of Ocarina. I have the box for it,
yeah.
The collector's edition of Ocarina, but I don't actually have the gold cart for Ocarina.
I really want the box. And I want the grey card as well. I have the Japanese Zelda Ocarina of Time. The Jap card.
I have every American release in the box except for that one. That's the only one out of from Game Boy to current day. That's the only one I don't have complete yet.
I think it goes without saying it's my favourite game of all time. So to have it in my collection is a no-brainer, my favourite treasured game.
It's definitely it's definitely Katie's top 2. I'd say she played it 7 or 8 times. And then also on different systems. She probably played it 12 times,
Like, I'd love to be one of them guys that have an obscure random game as their favorite game, and they're just like, yeah, Flashback on the Mega Drive is my favorite game of all time. But
I'm so cool because you know what this is.
I need to say it is my favorite game. Like, yeah, AAA game. Everyone ever in the world loves it. It's probably a million people's favorite games, but I can't help it.
You know what my favorite game is? You should by now.
Oh God. Just tell me.
We're not the best friends we thought we were.
Just tell me. Did you know that was my favorite game?
Yeah, you told me that before. Hold on, wait. It's on my hat. Can you know what's on my hat? It's on the other side of my hat.
I don't pay attention to your hat. Gears of War? Because it looks like a Gears of War hat.
Gears of War.
Oh, Silent Hill, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Silent Hill 2 to be precise.
Yeah. I actually haven't played those.
Well, wait, actually that's a good question. Since you're talking about games, do you like horror games really in general at all?
I mean, not really. I don't specifically go and play horror games. I love Resident Evils. I've played them all and I love them all. Finished most of them. But no, as far as actual horror games, I don't seek them out and play them. Like I found Obscure the other day. Wow, what was it? I found a game on Xbox. It's really hard to come by. Cthulhu? Something Cthulhu?
Yeah, Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah, which is apparently really good, but I have no interest in playing them. I really should though. You know what you know what I would play is Fatal Frame. Those games always look really good. Apparently, it's rumored there's one coming to the Wii U, so I would absolutely play that.
Yeah, I hope it comes out here if it comes to the Wii U. I actually bought they did the remake of the second game. It only came out in Europe and but I imported the fucking Europe. Sorry, F-bomb.
It's alright.
The European version I got, but yeah, I would love it if the new one that they're working on for Wii U would actually come out.
Yeah, well, with the pad, it's just a no-brainer. Same with like a new Pokemon Snap game. Like I have never played Pokemon Snap, but that seems like a no-brainer for the Wii U.
Yeah.
Okay, now GameCube is my favorite system. I mean, NES nostalgically is my favorite system, but actual favorite system would have to go to GameCube. So I've actually only picked 4 out of the potential 10 games I could have picked.
Oh, I thought we were done.
we're almost done. This is it. Almost it. I'll be quick. We got Tyler.
No, I thought you showed your favorite game of all time halfway through the video.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to like mix it up. I didn't want to go all CD, all card, whatever. Anyway, Tyler Tasmanian Tiger. For those who've been watching my channel for a long time, this was one of the early games I was looking for hardcore at the markets and the garage sales.
I lost a piece of the Game Boy. Sorry.
And actually had a subscriber send it to me, which was really, really awesome. So I could stop looking for it. Another one that I rented, I remember the Blockbuster near me had a bunch of GameCube games and I rented through all of them. I even got down to it was this and it was Universal Studios for GameCube. And I picked Universal Studios because I thought this game, like, I don't know why, but I thought this game looked really bad. And Universal Studios
You thought it was racist because it had to do with...
Universal Studios was so bad that I got my mum to take me back that day and return it and free of charge get Tyler Tasmanian Tiger because I said to them it's so bad I didn't play it and I don't want to pay for it.
Good for you.
So if you've ever played that game or ever see that game, pick it up for the hilarious fact that it's horrible, but it's the worst game I've ever played. To this day, the worst game I've ever played. I hate it. I'm still sore about it.
Since to defend Universal Studios, since I live in Florida, there is a Universal. It's a lot better in person.
I can only imagine. Primal Roar. I'm surprised I left this out when we were just talking about fighters, but this is actually my favorite fighter. On the GameCube, and this is the best Primal Roar of all time. It's definitely a hidden gem because a lot of people haven't even heard of it.
Called Bloody Roar here in the States.
Sorry, Bloody Roar Primal Fury is what I was trying to say. I'm glad you're here because you just saved me. Bloody Roar Primal Fury on the GameCube. Yes, thank you.
There you go. That's what I'm here for.
It's an amazing fighter. It plays really well. It feels really well. And yeah, I bought it the other day for $10 at Game Traders and played it for about a week straight trying to beat the last boss. And I couldn't. It's too hard. I can't do it.
I don't know if I actually played the hell out of that one, being not a big fighter fan, but me, Katie, or Katie and I and her brother would play that game a ton. And I don't remember his name, but the weird insect guy that transformed into a beast form has like the weird claws. I could kick ass with him. One of the few fighting games I was actually pretty decent at.
That guy's really cool. My favorite is the chick that turns into a leopard. because she's hot, but she's really fun to play with, and she has this massive drop kick that feels really amazing, and you can kick them out of the stage, and she's hot. Alright, so the next two, these are the two games I was talking about, the only two games in my collection that are actually mine from back in the day, because I went home about a year ago and I traded my brother, who owns my GameCube now, I traded my 13-year-old brother every Yu-Gi-Oh card I had, because I stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh a long time ago. And I had a massive box of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and he's just getting into it. And I traded them for my old games, so I got them back, Lost Kingdoms 1 and 2, which I just commented on your video, your recent Video Game Sellers video, because you asked about hidden gems. These two games, and they're two of my favorite games of all time. They're card-based RPG games. You have a deck of cards and they have monsters that come out of them, and you go around stages and try not to run out of cards and capture other cards.
It's weird, GameCube had those and then had the Bat and Kaitos games.
I was about to say,
which,
very related to Bat and Chaos, and if you like Pokemon and RPGs and Final Fantasies, kind of, this would definitely be the game for you. It's a cross of all of them. There's only one more. I know. I put too much on the table. Alright, this is another one growing up. Maxine 15 pack. I'm not going to talk about it that long. It's treasured because it was the first game I found in the wild that's technically rare. It goes for 120 to 150. And I got it for 10 bucks. And it's a game from my past. It has a lot of great games on there like Chiller and Menace Beach, which became Sunday Funday or Funday Sunday. A bunch of really great gems, and it's one of my favorite NES games. It's got so many good games on there. And that's it.
Uncle, did you pick that up?
Yeah, I picked it up at Games for All before they closed down.
Okay, so just a few months ago?
Yeah, it was probably about 6 or 7 months ago. They didn't know what they had.
Apparently went out of business.
Well, yeah. And Matt's actually a really cool guy, and he sold it to me, and he might be watching this right now, so I'm sorry.
Matt, he'll give you another 50 bucks next time you see you.
I absolutely won't, yes. That's it. That is some nostalgia there, and a little bit of me, and a little bit of Scott, who just froze in a very derpy position.
I froze while I was dancing. I apparently confused the camera.
You're still frozen. You're frozen with your eyes closed and your jaw all retarded.
Well, this is a good way to end it. Let's end it right now. Just cut it.
Alright, we'll end it here. Thank you, Scott, for coming on, and
I'm naked right now.
I'll talk to you soon. Do a little dance, naked dance.
I was.
You just came back, so I guess you just put your shirt back on.
I did, dude. I have my full nipple shown and everything.
And the nipple ring?
No.
Alright, man. Can we high five the camera? High five the.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Alright, see you, dude. I'll turn the Xbox off. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.